Today we are reading Festive Culinary Guide, a cookbook personally curated by a renowned Akeman gourmand. Every Titan's disciple will be able to find a recipe to their liking in it. The collectible can be found starting from the Memorial Market Space Anchor in Akama. It is sold by Tesisfona, Librarium, Administrator. Part 1. Fate Season. Month of Gate Yanis's Double-Sided Pancake. Ingredients: 500 grams of Akama earthen wheat flour, 100 milliliters of olive oil, 10 grams of rock salt, 100 milliliters of Fagusa's fine brew, 30 grams of cloud sheep mince marinated with vanilla and chopped beforehand, 300 grams of vegetable filling, shredded leek, celery, and dill. Directions. Number 1. Mix flour and salt in a clay pot, then slowly add olive oil and warm water into it. Use your hands to knead into dough, cover with a wet cloth, and let it rest for half a day. Number 2. Prepare 2 types of fillings. One is fresh cloud sheep meat, marinated with vanilla and chopped up prior. Then add salt for a bit of seasoning. Next is finely chopped leeks, celery, and dill, which are stirred with a little olive oil. Number 3. Cut the dough into 2 and flatten each into a circular shape. Number 4. Brush olive oil over a clay baking tray. Place 1 circular dough on it. Then spread meat and vegetable filling on each half. Number 5. Place the other circular dough over the first one as a cover. Then seal the sides tightly. Number 6. Brush olive oil over the surface. Place in a preheated stone kiln, baking for about 4 quints, till the surface is crisp and golden. Number 7. After taking it out, pour a little honey over the surface. The double-sided pancake symbolizes Yanis's connectivity. One side faces the past, the other ushers in the future. On the first day of the month of Gate, family members will gather around the dining table. Then the eldest member cuts open the pancake, after which they take turns to taste it. The vegetable filling representing the past is eaten first to reminisce on memories. Then the meat filling representing the future is eaten to welcome the new year. After finishing the dish, the youngest member will speak their New Year wishes aloud as the representative to pray to Yanis to open the gate to a wonderful future. Month of Balance Scale Soup of the Day of Reflection. Ingredients: 200 grams of white beans, 200 grams of black beans, 200 grams of lima beans, 200 grams of Giorgios roots, cut into small pieces, 200 grams of tier onions, chopped, 200 grams of celery, cut into small pieces, 50 milliliters of olive oil, 3 bay leaves, salt to taste, black pepper to taste, 2 liters of rock spring water. Directions. Number 1. After washing the beans, soak them 1 day in advance. Number 2. Add olive oil to a large copper pot, then add tier onions when it's heated. Then sauté until transparent. Number 3. Add all other ingredients. Beans must be drained first, and add water until they are just submerged. Number 4. Boil over a large fire, then reduce to a small fire. Add bay leaves, cover the pot, and simmer for 2 hours, until the beans and vegetables are soft and cooked. Number 5. Add salt and black pepper to taste. Use a wooden spoon to mash up some of the beans to thicken the soup. The second month is the month of balance that Talenton watches over. Before them, all food ingredients must weigh exactly the same to maintain balance over the scale. During dinner on the Day of Reflection, drinking scale soup is a most important ritual to be observed. Before eating, everyone must speak out loud their own reflections of their past actions in unison before partaking in the scale soup. Pillar Season. Month of Cultivation. Giorgios' 7-grain bread. Ingredients: 500 gram of earthen wheat flour, 500 gram of cloud wheat flour, 50 gram of wet oats, 50 gram of millet, 30 grams of flax seeds, 30 grams of sesame seeds, 20 grams of chia seeds, 15 grams of yeast, 10 grams of salt, 30 milliliters of honey, 400 milliliters of Fagusa's warm brew, 30 milliliters of olive oil. Directions. Number 1. Grind all grains into powder in a stone pestle and mortar. Then mix all dry ingredients in a large clay bowl. Number 2. Dissolve the yeast in a little warm water, then add honey and stir well. Number 3. Make a hole in the middle of the flour, pour in the yeast and honey mixtures, the remaining water, and olive oil. Number 4. Knead into dough with your hands till a smooth ball is formed, which will take about 15 to 30 minutes. Number 5. Cover the dough with linen cloth, then leave it out in a sunny spot for half a day to rise, till it doubles in size. Number 6. Knead the dough again, releasing the air bubbles, and after shaping it into a ball, score the surface with wheat ear patterns. Then let it rise again for 5 quints. Number 7. Preheat the kiln, use the peel to place the bread in it, and bake for about 3 quints, till it makes a hollow sound when you tap the bottom. This is a classic amphoreous dish. In the lucid hour of the sowing festival, farmers will gather in the wheat fields, tear the baked 7-grain bread into pieces, and distribute them to everyone on the farm. Everyone will chew on their bread, savoring the 7 flavors gifted by Georios. In the village, farmers will have the tradition of scattering their leftover bread in the fields, a prayer to Georios for a bountiful harvest of the 7 grains in the new year. In Akama and other cities, the residents have modified this custom, tossing their leftover bread into their potted plants instead. Regardless of their practices, the sowing work can only officially commence once this ritual ends. Month of Joy, Fagusa's Laughter. Ingredients: 2 fresh fish, cleaned and sliced into pieces beforehand. 500 grams of spiral eye tentacles, cut into pieces. 500 grams of star shells, cleaned. 2 tier onions chopped, 4 cloves of garlic chopped, 100 milliliters of olive oil, 4 wolf peppers peeled and chopped, 2 bay leaves, 1 sprig of rosemary, salt and pepper to taste, 500 milliliters of Fagusa's fine brew, 1 liter of rock spring water. Directions. Number 1. Heat olive oil in a large copper pot. Sauté the tier onions and garlic till softened. Number 2. Add wolf peppers and simmer for 15 minutes. Add a whole bottle of Fagusa's fine brew. Then add bay leaves and rosemary. Cook till the fine brew evaporates. Number 4. Add water. Then wait till the broth boils before adding the spiral eye tentacles. Then cook for 15 minutes. Number 5. Add fresh chunks and star shells. Cook over low fire for 30 minutes till the fish is fully cooked and the star shells have opened. Number 6. Add salt and black pepper to taste, then serve. During the revelry in the month of joy, many in Akama will gather in the city's public spaces and stew this giant pot of fish soup together. When the soup is done, remember to pour the first spoon of the soup onto the ground as thanks to Fagusa. When the appreciation ritual is completed, you can enjoy the fish soup. During this time, remember to blow hard on the surface of the fish soup, to ideally imitate the sound of laughter. It is said if Fagusa hears enough merriment, they will infiltrate the crowd and bask in the feast with everyone else, bestowing their mysterious graces upon all present. Part 2. Creation Season. Month of Reaping, Circe's Leaves of Wisdom. Ingredients: 20 large leaves, such as grape leaves or fig leaves, washed and drained. 200 grams of cooked pearl barley. 100 grams of lightly roasted pine nuts. 200 grams of cloud sheep milk cheese, mashed. 50 grams of fresh mint, 50 grams of fresh parsley, lemon juice from 3 lemons, 50 milliliters of olive oil, rock salt, and black pepper to taste. Directions. Number 1. Mix the cooked pearl barley and pine nuts, cloud sheep cheese, mint, and parsley in a large clay bowl. Number 2. Add lemon juice, olive oil, rock salt, and pepper, then stir evenly. Number 3. Quickly blanch the large leaves in boiling water to soften them. Douse in cold water after removal, then drain. Number 4. Place a spoonful of mixed ingredients on each leaf, then use the leaf to wrap them up as filling. Number 5. Add a little olive oil to a shallow copper pan, then lightly sauté the wrapped leaf till both sides are slightly charred. This dish was originally invented in the Grove of Epiphany as the highlight of the annual celebration feast. During this evening feast, these leaves of wisdom were piled high as a mountain on a large plate for guests to use at their discretion. What is worth mentioning is that only the scholars who achieved outstanding merits that year would be invited to the grove's feast. Perhaps it is this reason that led people to believe that they would receive Circe's guarded secrets if they also ate the leaves of wisdom. What is interesting is that the grove would stash bitter herbs randomly among the leaves. According to scholars who had the honor of attending, this was because the bitterness would stimulate the taste buds. The scholars saw this act as an opportunity to spur thought and growth. Calamity Season, Month of Strife, Nicodor's Shield of Victory. Ingredients: 500 grams of red wheat flour, 15 grams of yeast, 10 grams of salt, 300 milliliters of warm water, 50 milliliters of olive oil, 100 milliliters of Nicodor's ambrosia, 100 grams of Nicodor fruits, 100 grams of walnuts, slightly chopped, 2 sprigs of rosemary, remove leaves and chop those up. Directions. Number 1. Dissolve yeast in warm water and let it rest for 15 minutes till it froths. Number 2. Pour red wheat flour and salt into a large wooden bowl, then mix. Number 3. Pour the yeast water, olive oil, and Nicodor's ambrosia into the flour, then stir evenly. Number 4. Knead the dough for about 30 minutes till it becomes smooth and elastic. Number 5. Knead the Nicodor fruits, walnuts, and rosemary leaves into the dough. Number 6. Cover the dough with linen cloth and let it rise for 75 minutes in a sunny spot. Number 7. Press on the dough surface with a shield-shaped stamp, or shape it into a shield by hand. Then let it rest and rise for 30 minutes. Number 8. Preheat the kiln. Place the dough in it and let bake for about 75 minutes till the surface is a deep red. Ideally, it should make a hollow sound when you tap its bottom. This is a specialty of Castrum Crimnos. Its making is said to commemorate the heroes who died in war. The bread's deep red crust symbolizes the sacrifices in war, and the nuts and vanilla inside symbolize tenacious spirits and honor. Nicodor's disciples used this shield-shaped bread to pay tribute to this titan and to inspire the fighting will of their troops. Month of Mourning, Thanatos' Requiem Pudding. Ingredients: 500 milliliters of cloud sheep milk, 100 grams of salt, 50 milliliters of honey nectar blessed by Amnestia, 1 stick of cinnamon, lemon peels, 1 lemon's worth, a little rock salt, 50 grams of almonds, chopped. Directions. Number 1. Wash the rice and soak it for 15 minutes. Number 2. Pour cloud sheep milk into a copper pot, then add cinnamon, lemon peels, and a little salt. Heat over a low fire till bubbling, then add the washed rice. Number 3. Simmer over a low fire and keep stirring with a wooden spoon till the rice is completely cooked and softened, and the ingredients in the pot are starchy. This process will take about 60 minutes. Number 4. Add Amnestia's honey nectar and keep stirring till completely blended. Number 5. Turn off the fire, remove the cinnamon and lemon peels. Add chopped almonds, then stir lightly. Number 6. Pour the mixture into a clay bowl and let it rise till room temperature. Then place it in the ice casket and chill for at least 30 minutes till it is completely congealed. When the outdoor temperature is lower, you can place the clay bowl in a ventilated area outside. Number 7. Before eating, sprinkle a few Nicodor fruits as garnish. This pudding is pure white. During the nights of the month of mourning, many families will raise a miniature Thanatos altar and gather around it and offer the pudding. They will take turns speaking of memories shared with the deceased, then they will eat the pudding. Legend has it that the more emotional the memory, the easier it is to earn Thanatos' blessing. The Titan will soothe the spirits of the departed and helps the living find closure. Remember to leave a serving of pudding for Thanatos when the ritual has ended to give thanks to them. Month of Fortune, Spirit Days Lucky Cookies. Ingredients: mix 300 grams of wheat flour and 100 grams of butter, softened at room temperature, 100 grams of sugar, 1 dolo egg, 5 milliliters of vanilla extract, a little rock salt, 100 grams of various dried fruits, such as dried figs, apricots, raisins, etc., must be chopped. 100 grams of various nuts, such as walnuts, chestnuts, etc., must be chopped. Special tools: paper strips made from cloud sheep hide, written with various fortunes, some good, some bad. 1 Zagreus silver coin must be cleaned beforehand. Directions. Number 1. Stir the softened butter and sugar into a large clay bowl until smoothened. Number 2. Add the dolo egg and vanilla extract and keep stirring. Number 3. Slowly add flour and salt, then knead into a dough. Number 4. Mix the chopped dried fruits and nuts into the dough, then place the dough into the ice casket and chill. Let it rest for 45 minutes. Number 5. Take out the dough and roll it onto a floured surface until it is only about half a finger's thickness. Number 6. Cut the dough into shapes that you like using a mold or knife. Number 7. Insert a fortune paper slip into each cut dough piece and place a silver coin into a random piece of dough. Then use the other dough to cover it and seal the edges. Number 8. Place the cookies on a baking tray pre-brushed with olive oil. Then place into a preheated kiln and bake for 30 minutes till the edges are crispy yellow. The last day of the month of fortune is also known as the Spirit Day. Alchemist citizens believe that the year's misfortunes will end on this day. People share lucky cookies with one another at midnight on Spirit Day. Before eating them, remember to first break apart the crispy cookie and interpret the fortunes written on the sheepskin slips. You might even discover a Zagreus' silver coin within. The person who gets the silver coin and a plate of lucky cookies will receive the protection of this god of trickery.